computer. Wow.
How do we see their comments? Oh, there they are.
Like TK just asked the question, kind of laggy.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah, but I think you're
laggy.
good.
They said we can hear you. We'll wait 3 more minutes till 7:35, and then we will go ahead and get started. Our lovely host today will be Maximiliano. Can everyone else, maybe you wanna, it's working for everyone else, right?
Wait, isn't Max hosting?
I believe Max is hosting. Max, do you wanna unmute yourself and test?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
I think it's a little lag. Yeah, it'll be a little laggy for the YouTube end. They'll get it a bit later.
Yeah, I know. I was just.
We'll wait 3 more minutes till 7:35, and then we will go ahead and get. Oh, that's my voice.
2-minute lag.
So.
Who's reading out the questions?
Max is hosting. Max, do you want to unmute yourself and test? It's a little lag. Yeah, it'll be a little laggy for the YouTube end. They'll get it a bit later.
Max,
Mm-hmm.
we can hear your background noise.
That's my voice.
How do I mute it?
Okay, I changed it.
Do not disturb. There we go. All right, cool. Are you waiting for? Yeah.
We can go ahead and get started. Right? Or is it the minute? Did I
Yeah,
read
just
it wrong?
get started, right?
They come walking in. They come walking in. Welcome everybody. Thank you guys for joining us in the live reception. Well, I mean, we're gonna make it pretty quick. We're all pretty tired, honestly, and we're all pretty much have to start getting ready for our big day tomorrow. Surprisingly, there is an actual bigger day than today. It was literally like a quick sum up of everything we've done in the last couple years. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Like you want to hear all the comments, all the feedback, all the questions. We'll be here for a little bit, try to answer some questions for you as quick as possible, but we'll see how many questions we can answer before we have to call it a night. But before we begin answering questions, we just want to say thank you to everyone here, all my classmates. Thank you guys. We all made it. We made it happen. We're here. It's literally over. I don't think I'm gonna cry. I'm not, but I want to give a cheers to everyone. I'm tired. I'm sure you're tired. I haven't slept in almost a day. So cheers to everyone. I love you guys. Thank you to our professors. Thank you to our families. Thank you for watching. Thank you for believing in us. And just get ready. Get ready. We're big. We're gonna do. No, I'm not gonna cry, Olivia. Cheers, guys.
Oh,
Cheers, Max.
man, you got
Cheers.
me crying already. Cheers.
All right, you guys are just gonna watch it, us all sob.
I believe we have some I think we have some questions in the chat that we can briefly answer, a few of us.
Does anybody want to answer Erin Hansen's question? What inspired the beautiful branding of the show?
I can answer that. So we wanted to really bring in the idea of being online, and we really like our class is just a very bold, loud class. So we really wanted to bring in our personality with all these like really bright colors and bold graphics, and just really play with typography and create like this really interesting branding that just like represented us as a whole and like the experience that we've gone through.
All right. Do you first of all, thank you, Eileen, for answering that. I think sorry everyone. I'm scrolling back into the chat to look at the rest of the questions, but thank you so much. I think it was Erin who asked that question. So we'll go on to the next one. Crystal asked, what is one piece of advice that has always stuck with you and changed your perspective in terms of being a designer?
The idea of being online.
Anyone having you sage advice? I find that Stephen often has sage advice.
Loud class, so we really wanted to bring in.
I think it's just really important to just stay true to yourself and just kind of just focus on what you want to do and try to execute it the way you want it. That's about it.
I think to add on to that, actually, because I actually was just thinking about this when I was creating my little spotlights, and I think one piece of advice is like always push it further. Shout out to Devin if he's out there, but just always taking what you have and you think it's good enough, just make it bigger, make it bolder, just like push your composition. Just always keep going and like never settle, I think. And I think you'll end up with really interesting stuff.
I think that's so true. And also, like, one piece of advice too that he gave us for our show was to lean into the weird. And that was like a really good starting point for our branding. And I definitely think that we, like, with all of the bumpers and the transitions in between each designer, they're all really fun and goofy. And I think that that was just, that's a great piece of advice too. Just keep going and keep experimenting and lean into the weird sometimes.
All right, thank you guys so much for answering that. We'll go on to the next one. I keep losing though, unfortunately. Okay, so Anne asked, what was the most difficult part about putting the show together? I can kind of start with that one a little bit because I remember we really tried to put the show together at the beginning of several months ago, and I think one thing was that we had so many ideas of the different 24 of us that we all wanted to have like different concepts. We were like, oh, we want to make sure it's like different in this aspect, we want to make sure we have like this kind of style in it, and that it was really difficult at first to come to a consensus just because each of us are very individual. As you can tell from the live stream, we're all very individualistic, and we all wanted to put a little bit of ourselves into the show. And I think at the end of the way we were able to piece it together, it worked out really well. We were able to display these parts of ourselves without having to overshadow our creative minds with the branding. Anyone else want to speak to that, or we can move on?
I could add to that. I'd say having everyone trying to design and trying to come up with a concept that worked really well. It was a struggle at first, but once everything got going, we finally got to where we are right now. So. Great job,
Thank you,
guys.
Kenny. Good job. Thank you, Kenny. All right, next question from Andy. He asked, what was some of the inspiration for the show theme? Let's see. I think maybe Tracy had some part in contributing to that. Do you want to speak up? The question was, what was some of the inspiration for the show theme?
Sorry, I got put on the spot. Okay. I don't know, like I feel like a lot of us we had so much like different ideas that it kind of just came together like out of nowhere. I think that throughout the process we forgot to have fun, and then like adding on to like a question from earlier, like one thing that really stuck to me that a professor once told me was to sometimes not think when you're starting a project, but think afterwards, which was something that I think we were able to do because at first we were thinking so much and we had all these ideas that we got stuck. And then once we were able to actually have fun, we were throwing together all these icons that kind of represented us and how different we are as individuals. And then it all kind of came together to what we have right now.
And I think to add on to that, the idea behind the name is that there's so much more than meets the eye, and there's so much more to every person, and we're all individuals. And I think that was kind of the jumping off point. And then we had fun with the name and the play off of like infomercials and all that kind of like cheesiness and nostalgia, and that's how we kind of dived into that.
Thank you guys so much. Sorry, Tracy, we're putting you on the spot there. All right, next question. We can kind of come up with this, we can answer this really briefly. It was, who came up with the branding, I think by Torres, and I can just really briefly answer that. It was all of us, kind of from the last question. You know, we all contributed a part to it. So I hope that this, the answer to the previous question helped answer that. Illegal02 said, question for Julia and Jonathan, can we get another intermission dance?
Right now.
Julia and
What?
Jonathan.
Yeah, the floor is yours.
Dance.
The
There
dance
you
floor is
go.
yours.
Sierra
Where's-
provide
that
background
one
music
song.
for the national anthem.
Oh yeah, Jonathan got it.
That was great, guys. I loved it. Okay, I believe there are 3 great questions left. We'll go ahead and pick answer those and then wrap this up so you guys can all have your dinners. So the next question from Tammy is, what remedies do you have when you have an artist block? All right, next question. Anyone want to answer that? Maybe let's see, Adrian. I was gonna answer.
You said what were the artist block?
What remedies do you have when you have an artist block?
I don't know. That's really tough. But I think what I do is I like to look on social media and just kind of like see like, I guess kind of what's going on and just play off that. But honestly, I kind of just look at myself and then kind of like look to like what mood I'm feeling and just work off that. Whether it's like maybe a chaotic mood or like a really positive mood. I think like working from yourself and just kind of tapping into like maybe like what you're feeling is really raw and very true and something you could always build off of because you don't need to reference anything really. You just need to reference yourself. So I think that's what I do when I have artist block.
I feel like I have something to add too. Like for me, I like to listen to music, and depending on the project, would affect the different genres of music I would listen to. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying before about not being able to think and just listening to the music, because I feel like that kind of creates a mood that I want to put into my project itself.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too. Usually, what I'll do is read some books. Like I have a vast collection of design books that I look towards for inspiration, and I also look towards these other 23 people in the Zoom call right now because they have been a massive source of inspiration. Especially when I see their work, it just makes me want to do better and be more creative. So yeah.
Thank you guys for that. I think that was great. Next question, staying on the topic of advice. What is one piece of advice you can give to future generations? Future generations. Let's see, who has an idea for this? Maybe Susan?
Hi, I'm not sure for advice, but I think just follow your passion maybe, and then follow up how like technology change and following up that. Yeah.
And I have an idea too. Just don't forget that there's a big world outside of college too. You know, I feel like college is very safe when it comes to how much you can get with creativity and what you can get away with. So just knowing that, like, you know, there's a big world out there that's not just your college career, but also your design career, because it doesn't end after you graduate. It keeps going and going, and you can build on the foundation that you got in college and become an even better designer.
I think one major thing to always keep in mind about like everything, regardless of design, just functioning through the world, is to just try and be conscious of other people, and that like, I mean, we all need to be happy. We all need to function. We all need to have empathy for one another. I think that's like the biggest piece of advice for just everyone in general, especially at a time like this. Just having understanding and patience, I think, needs to be at the forefront of like what we're thinking of, what we're doing right now.
Thank you so much for that. And then we'll take our last question I see, which is, how will you all remain relevant when our digital/technical world changes so quickly?
You have to be flexible.
I could add to that. I would say always learn and always adapt. That's the biggest thing.
I would add to that too. It's like we're graduating, but learning is forever. And just because, you know, your classes end doesn't mean that your learning stops. So you kind of have to just keep up with the times and continue continue researching and continue being current.
Just having understanding and patience.
Thank you guys so much. I think I will add one last thing to that is just stay connected. You know, the more, you know, after being on Zoom for the past few semesters, it's more apparent to us more than ever to really make sure that although we're only seeing each other on the screen, we need to, as people and designers, stay connected with each other, you know, talk, laughs. As you can tell from our show, make lots of jokes, just make fun of make the most out of everything. Don't take life too seriously, and to just continue to persevere with the people you have around you, because it's like I think I said in my own spotlight, it's the people and experiences that make a design and that make life count. And then with that, I believe that's the end of our questions. Max, you want to go ahead and wrap it up? I think you're muted.
Max, you're muted, bud.
Who keeps muting me? All right, just pretty much recapping what we said earlier today. Just want to say thank you so much for watching us grow, watching us, inspiring us, suffering with us, hearing us, making us laugh, just being there for us, honestly. We're proud of ourselves. I'm proud of you guys. I hope you guys are proud of me. I hope I get to see all of you guys tomorrow. It's been great, you guys. It just feels so weird. It's gonna be like probably gonna be our last Zoom call together. As much as I don't want to admit it, but it probably is. I love you guys. Yeah.
Don't say it's the last call. We're still gonna hang out afterwards.
I mean, but like the idea of all of us together on one chat. I mean, I'm glad all of you guys are here. I love you guys. Yeah, but let's go ahead and just it's time to wrap it up, you guys. We're tired. We have to be at Angel Stadium in 12 hours from now, pretty much. But yeah, we're gonna end it off with another cheers, you guys. Thank you so much again for coming. Thank you to our professors. Thank you to everyone who believed in us. We love you guys. And
let's get it.
Thank you for watching.
We're graduating, we're walking. We're done. Cheers.
Digital
Cheers.
clap, guys. Digital
I-
clap.
Digital class.
Dang.
All right.
I